Hello there. Happy Friday. It's the Real Monica Adams podcast. It's the mobile Monica version brought to you by our friends at Invita Health and Wellness, just about 2 blocks down from me here in the Kirkwood, Missouri area. Happy Friday. Finally, we're heading into the weekend. If you've got one more day of work, well, I hope it's a great one. Remember that choice we talked about yesterday. You're starting off your life this morning with a positive mindset, right? I hope so. Otherwise, it's all up to you to change your mindset, change your heart, change the way you look at life as you're heading into the weekend. I hope you're going to have a great one. Looks like the weather hopefully should be nice, and hopefully you've got some plans where you can get outside and enjoy that. So I can see whenever we're on the mobile, Monica, that we're a little delayed in the beginning. One of these days, I would love to be able to not be on Wi-Fi and and to not have that delay for you. But thank you for sticking with us through the mobile versions. We've now got the live versions on Monday and Tuesday from our incredible new studios. If you haven't seen them, maybe you've been off for the last 3-4 days, you got to go back and see Monday's show when we launched. We actually were on my personal page, but we put it on later. We're hoping, oh my gosh, I can't wait to see the studios. And where were we? We were area, but she's a junior at Syracuse, New York. She wanted to know about insomnia and trouble sleeping. So, Caroline, today's show is dedicated to you. By the way, I hope you had a chance to see that incredible reel that she put together, showcasing some of our shows and getting an opportunity for you to see that together. I told her, let me see your creativity, and boy, did she do a great job. So if you haven't seen that, check that out. Good morning to you, 7:03. We'll get into today's topic coming up for you in just a handful of minutes. I'm also going to read from not one of our 100 Days to Attack. Now, he talked about knowing yourself and that you get what you want of life. But get that when it's sleep, not on yourself. Hashtag meditation, breathing, sleep aids, natural sleep aids. Whatever. I'd love to know a little bit more about you as you get to know more about me, the real aspects of the real Monica Adams. Again, we want to thank all of our sponsors, and we have more that keep coming on board with us. We have, of course, our title sponsor, Invita Health and Wellness. We have Carroll House Furniture. We have Aldon, Indoor Air Quality Specialist. And we now also have Florida Direct Palm Trees. So if you'd like to become a sponsor, if you know a business, or let me tell you something, it doesn't have to be a business. It could just be that you want to come on, that you want to give to this show, and that you want to make sure that we can continue our mission. That could be you just saying, kind of like when you give stars on Facebook, so that you are able to dedicate that someone's still able to provide the content that they want to provide. You don't have to be a business. You could just say, gosh, I so believe in this show and I'm hoping that it can continue. So you might just want to be the person who steps forward and says, hey, Monica, I heard you saying that I could give. And maybe you say, I'm giving today to help this mission. And here's the topic I would like for you to address. That works as well. Otherwise, if you know somebody who wants us to come out and do a show from their business, we can do remote live shows. Otherwise, it can be like a monthly thing. So if you or someone you know wants to be a part of the show, shoot them an email and tell them to email me on the email address you're seeing across the screen, info@TheRealMonicaAdams.com. So I'm hearing from my intern. Hold on a second. Let me look at these comments here. Am I cutting in and out on all of you? She said I was cutting out on you. Happy Friday. Wi-Fi oops going on. Good morning. Happy Friday. Can you all hear me okay? If not, Caroline just said you may have to go live on your phone. If that's the case, I'm going to hit our commercial break and I can come back to you. But can you all hear me okay? Just let me know that. Want to know if we're able to get across to you. I can absolutely come to you live on my phone and come right back on. Just let me know. If it's creating too much of a problem, I can do absolutely that. It is better? Okay, I'm not sure what it was doing, but we're going to have to try to we have a big meeting today, actually, and trying to figure out. Here's the thing. I personal train here, as you know, on Wednesdays and Fridays. And so we come to you live on Wednesdays and Fridays. I don't know why there is such a delay. There's a huge delay. Ooh, Angie says better. I don't know what the better is for me. I see that it's still delayed, and it's kind of annoying. So I want to talk to you about this. Seems better. Can you all tell me what was happening? Because if it's going to create an issue, I'd rather go live and come right back on to my cell phone, which doesn't seem to have the delays that this system does. Seems better. There's a delay. There is a massive delay I can see in this. Good morning. Good night. Jeannie says good night. I can hear you. You can hear, but is it crazy delayed? Because if it is, we can come back on. Sorry, good morning. Okay. Go ahead and keep telling me. I'm going to take a quick break, make sure it's okay, maybe talk to my team and see if there's any kind of an issue. But we're going to talk about sleep issues today. We're going to talk about meditation. Sherry says there is a delay. So if need be, we can come to you back on my phone. But let's see if it fixes itself. Don't go anywhere. We want to thank our sponsors. We'll be right back to talk about how you have issues falling asleep, staying asleep, your mind racing, all those things right after the break. Invita Health and Wellness, where you can feel your best both inside and out. Invita isn't your typical med spa. They're a multi-specialty medical spa and wellness center serving St. Louis and its surrounding areas. They have ketamine for mental health and pain, IV therapy, medical weight loss, and aesthetics treatments. As board-certified anesthesia providers, Invita can ensure that their advanced treatments are provided safely with minimal to no pain. So let Invita take care of you. Call 314-394-0950 to book an appointment or online invitahealthandwellness.com.
Carroll House is now the contemporary furniture design center.
We now have the largest selection of the latest ultra-modern furniture.
Sleek European designs, unique metals, bold lacquers, plush fabrics, and retro styles.
Modern furnishings with exclusive collections only at Carroll House.
Plus free financing, free delivery and setup, and free in-home design.
Visit the St. Louis Center for Contemporary Design inside our 3.5-acre showrooms at Carroll House.
Because you like nice things.
All right, everyone, we're back. It's the Real Monica Adams podcast, and again, brought to you by our friends at Invita Health and Wellness and all those incredible sponsors. So I'm just going to find out if things are better, if we still have a delay, or if we need to flip over to my cell phone, which again, I've never seemed to have a problem on that. I know you want to receive the message, but if it's delayed too much, then that's going to be annoying. So some people say sound is good, but there's a delay. Good morning. Good morning. I went to a screen with just my face. Oh, I never saw that. Okay, that's interesting. So if we need to, before we get deep into the topic, we could flip over and bring more people on. But if it's fixed itself, then I'll stay here with you. Caroline wanted us to talk about insomnia. And it's interesting that that starts at such a young age. She's in her 20s. We don't want to see that happen. I used to see it a lot because people would take on so much caffeine when they were in college, and it would keep them up. They would do it really, really late in the day, and that would be the problem. And they didn't realize, hey, you're taking in coffee, you're taking in caffeine, etc. So late into the day, and you think that that's not going to affect your sleep, where in fact it obviously will. Marilyn says there's a delay. It doesn't look like it's as bad. It looks like it's pretty close to being caught up. I just need to know that. Let me know. Good morning, Bill. Good morning, Sean. Good morning to all of you. Do you have trouble falling asleep? That's the first question. Just say yes, 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 or no, no, no. I just did a video right before we came on and asked my 4 girls that I was personal training here if they had a problem falling asleep, if they had trouble sleeping in general, if they had insomnia. And I think 2 said yes, 2 said no. So it was 50-50 here. What about you? Do you have trouble sleeping? Do you have trouble falling asleep? Just tell me that. I want to turn my mind off. Sometimes I can't. That's what Rose said. Okay, it looks to me that it looks like there's just a very minor delay, which we have in television, by the way. It's not as bad as it was. Good morning, and yes, I do, says Carrie. Sometimes falling asleep. Okay, just do me that quick. Just answer yes or no. Yes or no. We've got about 23 of you on right now. Great workout. Tammy says she sleeps good. Okay, just say yes or no. Do you have trouble sleeping? Now, here's the other thing. As you get to a certain age, women, did it all change for you? Did you sleep well before and then life got in the way with regards to perimenopause, menopause, postmenopause? That changes things for you also. Terry says no. Kathleen says yes. Dana says good morning and sometimes. So it looks like everything's good now with our delay, minor delay. No, I sleep very well. All right. It's 7:15. We're going to kick things off here. The Real Monica Adams podcast, the mobile version that we do sometimes for you. We are talking today about sleeping, insomnia, falling asleep, having trouble falling asleep, then not having trouble falling asleep, but staying awake after just a couple of hours. Is that you? That's what I want to know. Always read at least a couple of chapters of my book and then fall right to sleep. Jeannie says yes, she has trouble sleeping. Joe, falling asleep, no. Staying asleep, yes. So now we go into the next part of the question. When you fall asleep and then you wake up, is it because your mind has been racing? Did you eat something right before you went to bed? Understand how much your digestion plays in you falling asleep, in you staying asleep, in you getting the kind of rest that you need. So there's so many people that think that they can eat something right before they go to bed, and even an hour before you go to bed. And it's the type of food that you eat before you go to sleep that keeps you awake. Do you understand that? People used to talk about, oh my gosh, I think I ate pizza and drank some alcohol before I went to bed and I had crazy dreams. Yeah, but it also just depends. Like, are you taking in a bunch of carbohydrates about 30 minutes before you go to bed, processed carbohydrates, and expecting to stay asleep? It's not going to happen. So I've taught a lot of my clients that if you have those cravings, drink some water, go brush your tongue. It releases the cravings. You also think about when you brush your teeth, nobody wants to eat normally right after that because you're all ready for bed, right? It's that routine and the habit. It's just a little tip that I've given a lot of my clients. Do that, drink some water, and just go to bed. Shut that off. And then I would recommend, if you have trouble sleeping, for those of you that said yes, Angie said no troubles at all. I sleep very well, fall right asleep. That's fantastic. Carrie, I used to sleep like a log. Since menopause, I need a sleep aid, and now I wake up to go to the restroom, and then I'm up. I've always had problems staying asleep, very light sleeper. I need total silence and darkness. In order to go to sleep, I need to read for at least however many minutes. Don't generally eat after dinner. Okay, so these are all tips for you. We are kicking off our show, and I think the delay fixed itself. We've got a little one. I see a very, very minor one. But for the most part, we are underway. And I want to thank again Invita Health and Wellness for our wonderful sponsorship. We're not in their studios today. We are live for you in Kirkwood. Now, here's a very good comment, and this is what I was going to tell you. Rose says, the older I get, the worse. I worry about my adult children. I worry about money, what I have to do the next day. Why can't you turn it off? Okay, so worrying, is that really living? My brother actually was in studio with us on Monday, and I said, I know that you have been worried about me. I know that since I stepped away and changed my career path a little bit, not really. I mean, I just did it on my own, that he was a little worried. And his comment back was, I worry about everything. So do you think if you worry about everything that you're ever truly going to be able to rest the way you're supposed to rest? Sleep like you're supposed to sleep? Be as clear-minded as you're supposed to be when you wake up in the morning? Make those difficult decisions in work and in personal life when you don't have proper rest? I don't see how it's even possible. After drinking a gallon of water a day, I do wake up a couple times at night, but have no trouble going back to sleep. Jennifer Bonner, good morning to you. That's a new name. Are you new to our show? I would like to welcome all of you that are finding this show organically, being introduced to the show, finding it on a share on your feed. We have so many times said that this is what we want you to do. We want you to comment. We want you to like. And we want you to follow our live stream and understand that there are a lot of people that may not be on Facebook. And because of that, we've ensured that we come and stream to you live also on YouTube. Today I have a big meeting asking about other platforms. Are there other platforms you'd like to see us on or hear us on? We're also on Apple iTunes. We're on Spotify. We're on iHeartRadio. Those all drop once a week. So on Thursdays in the morning, there are new shows that maybe you've never heard. And we just dropped the one yesterday morning about habits, 14 days to form a habit. Bad or good, by the way. We're trying to break the bad ones and get you tools to form good habits. Those are on Thursday mornings. And then 2 shows, just to catch you all up for those that are new to my show, 2 shows in the afternoon on Thursdays drop on YouTube. So you've got to follow my YouTube page, @TheRealMonicaAdams. So it's youtube.com/@TheRealMonicaAdams. And that'll give you all these great shows that we've been doing to help you out, purpose and pain, bullying, things like that. Some of my favorite shows that I've done over the last few months. Jennifer, well, wonderful. Welcome. Anybody else brand new to the show? And do me a favor, as you're seeing here, if you would like to be a part of the show in any way, or you just want to turn someone onto this show that's brand new, we ask you to please share, like, and follow the live stream so that we can spread that positivity and get an opportunity to reach the masses all around the world and let them know that we're helping mentally, physically, spiritually. Pamela says worry keeps you from enjoying life and is due to lack of faith. Interesting. We can't control everything. Janet, I have a sleep machine to help me sleep. Okay, so that's the other thing. So some people have a CPAP machine. Some people, they literally stop breathing, right? They've been to doctors or even sleep doctors and found out that they stop breathing and then they have to be put on a machine. Some people who are married to them or partners with them, they then have trouble sleeping because they listen to the noise of what they think sounds like Darth Vader. But worry, not eating properly. Worrying is one of the biggest problems of not being able to fall asleep or stay asleep more so. Now, I like the fact that Jennifer brought up how much water she drinks. Let's address that for a second. That is incredible, by the way. And that's what we try to get people to do is drink enough water throughout the day so you stay hydrated. Your hair looks great. Your skin looks great. Your nails, everything about you by hydrating and drinking more water. You know that I always have water by me. Jennifer Bonner, who's one of our new viewers and listeners, Jennifer talks about how important it is to drink as much that you need to. But everybody always says this, Jennifer, as soon as they start that, they're like, how can I ever fall asleep? I feel like I'm constantly peeing. My brother did 75 hard and stressed that it was so difficult to try to stay asleep because your bladder's so full. That will break itself. The more you teach the body that it needs that hydration and you're actually drinking the water throughout the day, not trying to get all of it at the end of the day, then you won't have that problem of staying up so much. But you got to get used to it. It's just like anything, right? Your body didn't know that before, and it's something new that you're introducing it to, and then it catches up. Because a lot of people have asked me, if I'm drinking a gallon of water, will my body ever stop having to pee every couple of hours while I'm trying to sleep? Because all I'm doing is peeing instead of sleeping. Yes. Again, it's just that habit thing, right? So after a couple of weeks, you will have formed that. So Pamela says worry keeps you from enjoying life. And yes, it absolutely does. There are a lot of, I don't know that it's necessarily due to a lack of faith. I know that you're asking, can someone just completely turn it over to their faith? I get what you're saying there, but a lot of it is feeling like you have to have control over everything. Most people who worry about a lot of people or a lot of circumstances in life, it's because they want to have control over it and they want to switch what's going on in the world, in their personal lives, in their professional lives. Let's see, Carrie, you really need to connect with Monica, especially her podcast. Well, yes, I appreciate that. Monica, did you sleep good when you were on TV? I did, Rose, but I had very little sleep. Yeah, any questions you want to ask me, if you want me to give you some advice on what I've helped others through that I've counseled or coached or trained over the years, I will do that. I want you to understand that when you're eating, let's do it. Let's address the nutrition side. I'm sorry, Rose, I'll go back to this. Did I get the amount of sleep I'm getting now? No. I got up at 1:30 in the morning. I would go out and cover stories, or I would want to cover the entertainment, the arts. I would go to the Fox Theater, which I love the shows at the Fox. I would go to the Municipal Theater, the Muni at Forest Park. Did everybody just sing that when I said that? The Muni at Forest Park. Yes, I would go to the Muni. I would go to the Fox. I would go to Blues games. I would go back in the day, the Rams games. I would go to Cardinals games. Now I would be covering probably St. Louis City SC games because I covered sports. And in my radio days, I would get up at, I believe, 2:45 or 2:30. In my television days at Channel 2, it was getting up at about 2:15. And then at Channel 5 is 1:30 because I went on at 4 a.m. Did not get the amount of sleep that I needed, obviously. I was lucky if I got 5 hours because I wanted to have some semblance of life with my husband, right? The balance of life that we're all seeking. He didn't get home until about 7:15, 7:30 in the evening. So how was I going to get the amount of sleep I needed if I wanted to see my husband as well? So that's what was hard. But understand that not everybody needs, I've said this before, 8 hours of sleep, even though that's what you've always heard in life. I've talked to a lot of great sleep doctors that said that's not necessarily true. Everybody's body is different. Our physiology, our anatomy, everybody's body's different. And so if you feel well rested, you don't feel like a zombie, you don't feel like you're in a fog, then maybe 6.5, 7 hours are good for you. Other people might need more than 8. They might need 8.5 or 9 hours. You'll find that circadian rhythm, you'll find what your body needs, and then you got to try to stick with that as much as possible. Wear myself out. Been out of menopause for 20 years. Even after I awake to use the restroom, I fall back asleep. Good job, Marilyn. Melatonin doesn't work anymore, and what they now give me leaves me hungover. What about a supplement? Carrie, the supplement is, ready for it? Booster. It is from Secret, Seacret. I can guarantee you that Michelle, if she's not walking or driving her son to school, that she can do this for me, or Caroline can. They're going to drop it in the comment section. It's secret.com/Jim and Monica. Jim and I are behind this particular company that I am so dedicated to. I love their supplementation. The doctor that's behind the supplement line, the nutrition line is phenomenal. The skincare line, the body stuff, everything about Secret I am in love with. Otherwise, I wouldn't put my good name behind it. But there's a particular supplement called Booster, Carrie, that I would highly recommend. Now, it helps with sleep. It helps with acid reflux. It helps with people who are having a couple drinks before they go to bed and they don't want to wake up foggy. They don't want to be, tossing and turning at night. I told you this before that a lot of college kids call it their hall pass because if they're going to have a couple drinks, they take Booster and they feel phenomenal and they're ready to go in the morning. Unlike melatonin and other sleep aids that make you wake up and you feel like a zombie. So Linda says 6 hours is plenty for me. Even on a night of restless sleep, I get up ready to go again. Do you ever feel like you need to take a nap? That's another question for all of you. Say yes or no to that. Just fire off. Yes or no. Do you feel like you need to take naps? Yes or no? For me, I didn't have time for it because, as you know, I didn't just work in broadcasting. I would go personal train my private clients, my seniors that I would train, or I was out doing life coaching or out doing whatever, because there's several hats that I wore that even if I felt a little exhausted, I would just keep going and was able to get through the day. Dana says no. Marilyn says no. Linda says no, never a nap. Angie says no. I know people in television that if they didn't have the nap, Janet says I never have to take a nap. If they didn't take a nap in my industry, they would never be able to function the next day. We're glad you left TV. Tell your brother that, Rose says. Okay, I will do just that if he sees this. I sleep 6 to 7 hours. I have sleep apnea. Sleep with the CPAP machine. Yep, interesting. Who else? So yes, Carrie, I hope you were able to write that down. I think might be the time when Michelle's walking. Caroline, if you can look that up for me, or if you can post that for me, secret.com, but it's SEA. So it's like from the Mediterranean Sea or from the Dead Sea. It's products from the Dead Sea. It's vegan supplementation. I'm talking an incredible protein powder. Booster, one of my favorites. Recovery. By the way, all of you knew the other day I had really bad concussion symptoms, and I took that I took a Recovery when I went home and felt incredible after that. I couldn't find it for a while. I thought I had used it all up. And fortunately, I was able to find it, which is good. Kim says, yes, sometimes. Jennifer Bonner, no time for it. Right. Pamela, some days, yes. Stephanie says, sometimes in the afternoon. Naps. Do you take them? Yes or no? And if you're not with us live and you watch this show on replay, tell me if you do. And here's the thing. For those of you that say yes, sometimes, how long is your nap? So this is the advice I'm going to give you from a really great sleep doctor. If you take more than probably a 30-minute nap, 20 to 30 minutes, you're overdoing it. Because then at that point, your body is exhausted. So that is one of the things that we were told. If you're taking 45 to 60 to 2 hours and you think that's a nap, no, you're getting back into full-on sleep. And then what happens normally is you've broken up your sleep pattern and you try to go to sleep in the evening to try to do your full 5, 6, 7, 8 hours of sleep, and it doesn't happen because you've already broken it up, and so it just kind of gets staggered. 3 hours here, 2 hours there. Some people, they can't help it. That's just the way their life has to be. So for those of you that are napping, that said yes sometimes, some days yes, etc., sometimes in the afternoon, is it just a quick little 20, 30-minute cat nap, right? That's what we call it. And then you're back up. And do you feel revived? Do you feel ready to take on the rest of that day, afternoon, evening? Everybody's schedule is different, right? Some people are second shifters, third shifters. Where do you take your naps? Is it the middle of the afternoon? Hopefully you're not sleeping while you're at work. So how long are you taking the nap? That's what's important. So let me know that. Sorry, I'm getting binged by George. I'm guessing George isn't watching the show because I'm on right now. It is 7:28. Today, we're talking about how I can help you with insomnia. So let's get into some more of the tools for trouble sleeping. Now, I'll also address for those of you that have trouble stay sleeping, but here for Caroline and for everybody else that has trouble with insomnia. Oh my goodness, George, stop texting me. For those of you that have trouble with insomnia, do you meditate? Say yes or no. Do you meditate? Do you take 5 minutes for yourself? Do you sit outside by a tree? Do you sit on a park bench? Do you sit on your front porch? Do you just change your actual physical position of where you are at work or at your house and go over and take 5 minutes to yourself? 5 minutes. Or who meditates for 10 minutes? Who meditates for longer than that? Just tell me yes or no now. Do you meditate? Now, if you do meditate, or maybe you just started meditating, do you find that it has helped you in your insomnia? Okay, Terry says no naps. Always feel worse when I wake up. Let's go back here. And Caroline, do me a favor and tell George to watch the show and stop texting me. I never have time for a nap. Sometimes in the afternoon, some days yes. No time for the naps. Okay, good comments here. So yes on naps, day off or a small one after work. No naps, always feel worse when I wake up. Yes, but not very often. Okay. Caroline, who is the one who wanted me to do today's show. Caroline, what was your comment? Let's see. It just bounced on me. Hold on. Let's go back. So if you're just tuning in, we're talking about sleep aids. We're talking about natural ways to fall asleep and stay asleep. Yes on naps, day off, or a small one after work. Yes, but not very often. Caroline posted the link, by the way. Here's the link to the shop. It is called Booster. Oh, no, that's not it. Sorry, everybody. Do not look at what Caroline just posted. That's not right. So it's SEACRET. If you have a pen and paper, just go ahead and write this down. SEA, like the sea, SEACRET, secret.com/Jim, then the word and Monica. This is where you're going to find it. And that's going to give you the entire page. And then I just want you to go to nutrition and you'll see booster. So SEACRET, secret.com/Jim and Monica. That's the link you want, not what she posted. That's not right. So understand that. It's booster. What do you consider meditation to be? Okay, we'll address that in just a second. Yes, Caroline. Yes, says Linda. Pamela says sometimes, approximately 30 minutes. That's what I was looking for. How long are you taking that nap? So Pamela said approximately 30 minutes. I'm an early riser. Yes, I have more energy. 20 minutes. Okay, 20 to 30 minutes, again, is what a doctor would say is great. Let me tell you something, folks. The people that I worked with in television would go home. When I would go and go personal train, they would tell me that they would go home and they would sleep for about an hour, hour and a half, 2 hours. That is not a nap. That means you are full on exhausted. Absolutely exhausted. Thank you, Angie. I appreciate that. Kim, what do I consider meditation to be? What I mean by meditation, for all of you that don't do it and you want to start doing it, I want you to learn how to clear your mind. So Caroline, just make sure that Jim and Monica is attached to that. Angie has the right one. You have to make sure that it is not just regular. You've got to put Jim and Monica attached to it. Okay. Anyway, sorry. 732. What do I consider meditation to be? It is being able to close your eyes and to be able to focus on whatever that word is. Remember, we talk about intention in the morning. So find a word of intention. So maybe it is hope, right? We talked about hope on Tuesday. Maybe it is blessed. Maybe it is the word fulfilled. Maybe it is clarity. Whatever your word is, it is scientifically found that if you focus on just one word, you'll start to not have that mind racing so much. What happens with a lot of people who aren't able to fall asleep or stay asleep is they're talking about in their mind, they are thinking about the task at hand. It's just this constant, did I get this done? What do I have to do tomorrow? It's the list that you should have put in your calendar, in your phone, that's taken care of, and that you will get an opportunity to run through all of those the next day. Looks like we have a little bit of a delay again. I apologize for that. At least you can hopefully hear me. So understand that when you're trying to clear your mind, you are taking all those tasks, the to-do list, the honey-do list that you're trying to give to someone that you're in love with at home, or the honey-do list for yourself. You should be putting those things down on a to-do list, leave it there, or put it into your phone, like I do in my calendar. I know what's coming up the next day, and then shut it off. I like to do meditation in the evening. Now, for those of you who have never meditated, I highly recommend that you find a good meditation app. By the way, on Apple, on my watch, I'll wake up and it'll give me mindful minutes, which is one of the things, or it's meditation, something like that. We are going to be starting those. We have a new segment we will be introducing to you. I'll be coming to you either live or in recorded segment from my porch, helping you through the steps of clearing your mind. So the question is, what do I consider meditation? It is clarity of mind. It is 3, 4, 5 minutes. Eventually it becomes longer, but 5 minutes of absolute breathing techniques and clarity. So you have to just focus. When you do those guided apps, they will actually help you pick a word. They'll give you a word sometimes. That way you don't have to sit there and strain in your mind to try to come up with something, overthink something. They'll give you a mantra and you say that and then you breathe with it. And it's just the focus on one thing and one thing only. Keeping your eyes closed, keeping an eye on your breathing, and realizing that you can do just that. So when you go to fall asleep, and maybe you wake up and you're having trouble going back to sleep, take about 5 minutes and do that and see if you can calm your mind down, calm your spirit down, calm your heart down, and fall back asleep. If you have to go to the bathroom, don't sit there and say, oh, I don't want to get up because I'm going to wake myself up. No, you're actually going to stay up longer if you are straining your bladder. So get up, go to the bathroom, walk around, and then come back to bed. If you're not falling asleep, a lot of doctors will say, get up, walk around, and then about 3, 4, 5 minutes later, come back and lay back down again. You've got to change the position and get to change what's currently going on. Stephanie says, I go for a walk to the park by my apartment and I sit in the gazebo. Great meditation. Let's see. Yes, at the end of the workday, I make a list of to do for the morning. At home, I have my list. When I sleep, I sleep. I'm in control of that. God has the rest. Alicia said she lost sound. Hopefully nobody else did. Sorry about that, Alicia. Let's see, who else? Yeah. Again, if you need a sleep aid, secret.com/Jim and Monica. You want that one. You don't want to just to go to the regular page. I want you to have a part of being able to have me as your rep. I am behind a lot of them. So don't just go to the regular one. You don't just want to Google secret. Understand, you've got to put the Jim and the Monica in there. Questions about having an issue of sleeping. Anybody else? I think a lot of it is people who are worried about their own life, worried about finances, worried about their relationships, worried about their children, worried about their parents, right? Do you regularly worry? And if so, have you ever tried to shut the mind off? I want to know if, in fact, you do breathing techniques. So that's the other aspect. Breathing, like 3-5-3 is something that I like, or 5-3-4. You can do it however it is. The thing is, whatever that first number is how many seconds it takes for you to inhale and then hold it. And when I'm holding it, I'm concentrating on that word. And then I'm releasing it out. Maybe it's the same. Maybe it's 5-3-5, right? The longer you can get the big belly breathing and then take it all the way up and hold on to it and think about what your goal is, your vision is for you and for the rest of the world. The one thing is you don't want to take the weight of the world on your shoulders. So you can't control everybody in every circumstance out there in life, right? You can't do that. You can only take care of yourself and maybe affect those around you and affect those that are coming in contact with you, like you smiling. We talked about smiling yesterday, smiling and allowing your heart to connect with somebody else's heart. Those are the important things. What do you give back to the world? That's all we can control. Us, try not to control others too much. All you can do is put it out there. Be kind, and that might do that ripple effect of affecting other people. Good morning, sunshine. Have a powerful weekend. You as well, my friend. Jamie, I love you. Let's see. Yes, Michelle, we talked about that. So we talked about the hall pass. Michelle's talking about booster to prevent hangovers. Exactly. So it's that fog that a lot of people feel. But the most important thing, booster came out because a lot of people would take melatonin and they get up the next day and they feel like a zombie. So they didn't really get that clarity that they wanted. They may have fallen asleep and felt like they were a rock sleeping, but then they still want to sleep. That's the difference. Booster will help you fall asleep, stay asleep, and then have so much energy when you wake up in the morning that it's truly remarkable. Some of my friends use Tylenol PM, the worst. Linked to Alzheimer's, Benadryl. I will try meditation. Yeah, Rose, try meditation and try that secret booster product. Again, if you have any questions about it, just let me know because I've had a lot of great success with people that are on it. I always tell you, check with the doctor, make sure that there's no problems with the supplement, interacting with any prescription medications that you might have. So always check on that. But okay, so how many of you do breathing? Okay, answer me that. Say, I do, or I've never tried that. Breathing techniques. I don't mean just regular breathing from your chest, which means you're stressed. Chest breathers are stressed. Keep an eye on it. Do you have somebody in your house? Are you involved with someone who's constantly breathing in and out, in and out, in and out from here? I can guarantee you they don't sleep well. I can guarantee you that they are worried, that they maybe have control issues. You might even want to check. They might have blood pressure issues. They might have a heart issue. There's no way that a person who is constantly stressed is going to have rest, going to have clarity of mind, is going to be able to make the decisions properly like they're supposed to. The people who cannot calm their mind and calm their bodies down are always up in here, and their whole life feels like chaos. Think about all those things. Janet said, I never tried that. Marilyn says, since the retreat, yes. So she learned breathing techniques. Never tried breathing techniques, Pamela says. I want you to try that. We can do one right now. I'm just going to do one round of it. I want you to pick your word. So let's see. My word for today, let's use, everybody pick your word. Tell me what your word is. Deep breathing is wonderful during work stress. Yeah, during any kind of stress, whether you're at work or whether you're at home, whether it's somebody else. That's the other thing. So as we do this breathing technique in just a second, it might be you that's in a great place, but it's everybody that's around you, the circle that's around you, they're not in a good place. And their stress and anxiety and toxicity, negativity, drama, suddenly they're trying to bring you into that little negative hole. And if you close your mind and they'll try to figure out what the heck is going on. So Caroline says my word is energy. Marilyn says her word is grateful. Deep breaths, 10 of them, deep breaths, helps me reset, eyes closed, clear my mind, helps with stress. Yes, but the thing is, a lot of people have the stress around you. Hopeful is Kim's word. What is everybody else's word? Pick an intentional word for the day. Gratitude is what you do in the evening, right? So intention and gratitude. My intention on today will be, I've used a lot and I don't want to repeat one. How about loving? Loving, that's my word. Peace, right? Linda's using hope that we used the other day. Hopeful that I used the other day. All right? Peace, I think that's a good one. So everybody pick your word, and here's what we're going to do. Do this with me. I want you to take 5 seconds and then be honest with me and tell me if you couldn't do it. A lot of people, if they're big chest breathers, they have anxiety and stress around them, you're not going to be able to dig deep into the belly and pull out 5 seconds of an inhalation breath. Angie says thankful. Marilyn says helping, right? Prayer. And then I want you to hold it for 3 seconds and just concentrate on that word. And then I want to let it go. What you're doing in the exhaling, you're letting go of the drama in you or in someone else. You're letting go of the negativity in you or someone else. The toxicity, the poison that's in the world, the fact that we say the world's in a horrible place, right? That's not what I'm wanting you to focus on. Stop focusing on what the news is telling you. Stop focusing on the drama, the toxic people. They are in their own life. They're not coming to this show. They should, though. You should pass this along to them. Share it with them. You see on the bottom, share, like, follow on our podcast. And understand that if you pay it forward, that you're going to be able to continue to help people. Julie says positive. Okay, so let's close our eyes and take a deep breath of 5 seconds. And then hold it for 3 seconds. And then exhale what is not serving you in the 5 seconds when you let it go. You're inhaling your word, your positive word, your thankful word, your helping, your peace, your hope, your hopeful, prayerful, right? That's your word. Ready, set, go. Okay, you can keep going if you want to, because I can't see you at home. You can keep doing that for the next 5 minutes, and you can tell me in 5 minutes if you felt better than you did 5 minutes ago. Right now, as we're talking, this is why yoga is so important. Yoga is the practice of the mind-body connection. Right? When we were doing resistance training, we're throwing those big heavy weights around. Normally, people are tensed, and then they feel like, oh my gosh, my muscles are so tight because they never stretch. They never do yoga. They never do the combination of their workout. It's always one. And then they tear the muscle fibers down, and then they pull muscles, and then they're out. They're on the sidelines. They try to find their way back. Well, understand that if you do your workout, you do your yoga, you do maybe some Pilates, you do some stretching, you do some breathing techniques, you do all these things, you're doing the balance of mind, body, spirit. If you're continuing to do the 5, 3, 5, beautiful, in about 5 minutes, if you continue to do that, I just want you to tell me how much better you felt at home or in your car if you're listening to us right now while you're driving, or once you are at work. Maybe you try it again at work. Maybe you split it up throughout the day. You do 5 minutes in the morning, 5 minutes around lunchtime. Might help with your digestion after you've eaten. Hopefully you haven't shoveled down your lunch and gone back to work. That's what a lot of people do. They don't take the time, right? If you get 30 minutes, 45, 60 minutes, take it. Shut off every aspect of work and take your time. You deserve that. You are owed that. Don't keep working and shoveling down food at your desk. You need to step away. You need to go sit by a tree, go get something nutritious and do some breathing. And then in the evening, maybe you do it after dinner, or maybe you do it right before you get ready to go to bed. That calmness that you find, guess what? That was 15 minutes that you could be doing morning, midday, and in the evening. 15 minutes of unbelievable clarity. So that's a habit you could form. So when we talk about habits, yesterday's show that launched again on Apple iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio, I talked about habits, bad habits that form and how you break those and how you start to find a good habit. Well, this is an opportunity for you to do that. Maybe you're continuing to do the 5-3-5 right now. I love that. And I want you to continue to do just that. Because if you woke up and you're in a bad mood, you woke up in a great mood, but the people around you, you allowed them to seep in and affect your mood, affect who you are. They're trying to change your Friday morning. Well, this is your opportunity to correct that. Okay, so if you've continued over the last few minutes, we're closing in on almost 5 minutes, tell me if you feel better. Tell me if that simple technique, even if you just did one like I did, and I concentrated on my word, prayerful. Other people said helping and thankful and positive and peace and hope and hopeful. I wanted you to concentrate on only that word. Were you able to do it? It might have been hard because I was talking while you were trying to concentrate on just that word. So that means other things are going on and you're trying to split the mind and you're trying to multitask. That's another thing I want to bring up. For those of you that multitask, I bet you have a lot of stress in your life. Julie says that yes, she does, that you feel better. And all you did was a simple few minutes. So if you've never done that, today is the day that you're learning the technique that has helped so many people for decades or centuries. You go into other cultures, this is exactly what they do. Their life slows down, right? We're in such a rushed, hurried world. Let me give you an example. I came in to train my clients this morning, driving down Kirkwood or Lindbergh Road, heading in here towards Jefferson and North Kirkwood, and I had to get into the other side of the street almost seconds before, could have been in a head-on collision. Why? The guy was either texting, maybe he was drinking. I don't know if he had a medical condition. I don't know what the end result was. All I can tell you is the guy drove straight into a sign, busted up the sign, had the car sideways, and affected traffic for a little while. They did finally clear it before my clients wrapped up at 7. I don't know what caused it, but he took the tree out, took the sign out. In fact, I'll show you the picture. So we don't know, so we can't assume. We can't right away say he was drinking. He could have been texting. But here's what happened this morning. Okay, so there you go. You see that sign? That's what I saw this morning, or I should say, that's what could have almost been me. Right there at Argonne, right there by the train tracks. He's lucky, by the way, that he didn't go a few inches more. He would have been stuck on the train tracks. And I hope that somebody would have notified to let the train know that up ahead there was a car sitting on the train tracks. I'm glad that more people weren't involved in this. But what was going on? After that happened, that's when I would close my eyes if it was a medical condition and thank the people that were on the scene. I think that guy in the red shirt called the police. I didn't know he was on the phone. I figured he was, but I called the police as well, made sure that they knew about it. They did. And they were on the scene right away. So what I did was go into the wrong way, and people flashed their lights to let me know it was okay to go, went around the train tracks and got here to train everyone. But see, we need to slow down more in life. I don't know what that person was doing, so I can't assume. I hope they weren't drinking. I hope they weren't texting. But when you see things like that, that's a possibility. I'll share another story with you. I left the gym yesterday, was trying to get home to teach my class, and it took me 22 minutes just to go a half of a mile because there was an accident up ahead, 40 westbound, 6440 westbound, right before 270. And it delayed everybody. Okay, you're going too fast, folks. You're down on your phones. You're not paying attention. And right as that happens, I'm on a complete standstill. I get a message from my dear friend that said that she was just involved in a 4-car accident. I said, "Are you right at Ballas?" And she said, "No, Wildwood." And she said that the guy jumped out of his car and said, and I quote, "I was on my phone going too fast." Then he said, "Oh, now I'm going to get some workman's comp." He was driving the vehicle that he worked for. Now, did he tell the police that? She said, probably not. And I said, well, it doesn't matter. They can check the records. They'll find out if you were texting. They'll find out what you were doing right before you caused that accident. And he did. Well, my friend and her son are lucky that they're okay. And so are the other people that were in the cars. It was completely smashed up. I couldn't believe the accident that they were in, that nobody was hurt. But all these things, folks, all stem from not enough sleep. They stem from multitasking. They stem from, what are you doing in that car? What are you doing in life that doesn't have you clear of mind? What are you doing to cause problems with not only yourself, but others in life? So think about all that. You have the world that you're affecting when you're not paying attention, especially when you're driving. And then you think, well, I wasn't behind the wheel. Somebody else was behind the wheel, and they're being affected. So this was yesterday. This was her involved. I believe that was one of the cars involved in it. Look at that. You know, we see some of these accidents happen. There's another, I'm not going to show you hers, but that's the guy they said caused it. He was driving that vehicle. Going too fast, not paying attention, multitasking, texting, a myriad of things. Once the traffic diva, always a traffic diva, Michelle says. Thank God you were able to move. Yep, glad you're okay. Glad you're okay. Absolutely. I love it. The deep breaths. Thank you. My word was serenity. I like that's a good word. Kirkwood and South Lindbergh gets crazy. Lots of angry drivers. Yeah, and it wasn't even right here. It was right at Argonne, right there by the train tracks. I mean, I just couldn't believe it. So imagine if I wasn't paying attention, I was looking down, and then I look up and there's a car right there in front of me. A bunch of people trying to help that person and slammed into the next person. All of the chain reaction aspects of what happens in life. That's what I always told my girls, pay attention. Right, so for all of you that are teaching those young ones to drive, I hope, whoops, sorry about that. Where'd that come from? Pay attention, let's hide that. So yes, Julie, thank you. For all of you parents that are teaching the young ones to drive, I know you try to get it into their head. We've all been there. We all think that we're invincible and it's not going to affect us. I just hope that you're able to take care of those kids and make them be smart as they're in high school and college, that they're being smart. They're not texting. They're not drinking and driving. We're going to have a show coming up very soon with Mothers Against Drunk Driving. We're going to talk about a particular boy that lost his life and the mother's fight to continue. We have an incredible show, by the way, coming up on Monday that I want to tell you about. Before we get into that, happens in Columbia, Illinois, allowed on Route 3. It happens everywhere. That's what I always told my girls. Pay attention, pay attention. Girls, boys, everyone. It's not just the kids, though. I see a lot of adults. My husband, when he's not in his police car and we're in our regular vehicle, he wants to do like a citizen's arrest. He's just like, he lays on the horn. I'm like, remember, you're not in your police vehicle. They're not going to know what the heck you're doing. But he just gets so frustrated. And you can always tell, by the way, you can see how they're swerving, that they're usually on this. You know, we've all been guilty of it. My husband says I comment too much. I apologize. No, not at all. No problem, Rose. Not at all. I love everybody. So we ask you to like and to share and to comment. Sharing is the biggest aspect. I want you to share so that we can reach so many more people, that they can understand that we're here for them. So again, as we wrap up, and before I get into what Monday's show is, I want you to start teaching yourself calmness. And by doing that, you work on your breathing. You pick that intentional word for the day and you use it when you inhale. You hold on to that intention and then you exhale what didn't serve you last night, what's not serving you this morning, what hasn't served you in the past. Let it go. It's not going to serve you. And understand that if this is your last day on earth, I just want you to think of it this way. If this is your last day on earth, do you really want to think of all the negativity that happened to you in the past, the trauma, the abuse that happened to you or to your family or your friends? Why? It's not serving you. Do not give control to your past. It doesn't serve you today. It's not going to serve you in the future. So you have to find pathways to let it go. And a lot of times it's your breathing, it's your clarity of mind, it's your meditation, it's your choices, it's your belief in humankind, it's your belief in the human beings that are around you. It's the belief in the world being able to change. It's all those things that if this is your final day on earth, well, make it the best it could possibly be. Take it all in. Be happy. Do the things you want to do. Stop putting them on a list. I'll get to that in the future, because you're not promised it. You're not promised one more second. When people talk about living for the day, I say you got to live for the millimeter of the second, right? Stay in your lane. Stop worrying about what other people are doing in the lanes around you, whether that is physically driving and being all over the place and looking in your rearview mirror and looking in your side mirrors, and then boom, you crash into somebody ahead because you're not paying attention. Pay more attention to yourself first and foremost. How are you giving to the world? How are you receiving who you are as a human being? And then what are you doing to pay it forward, to be better to those around you? Be a happier human being, like yourself more, find your way to love yourself more, and watch what happens around you. Okay, those are the tools. Those are the things that I need you to work on. And I don't want you to be so consumed with every aspect of it. You have to start small. So if it's just one thing, then use the tools of breathing today. Today's your day to work on breathing techniques. And then once you've got that down, one word, again, it's just one word that you're focusing on. If you can't do it on your own, you're still finding your mind racing, then find a guided app. There's tons of free ones out there. You don't have to pay for it. Free guided apps of meditation. And again, they could be 5-10 minutes, whatever you need. And you got to find where it works for you. If you're looking for more clarity, maybe you do it in the morning or the middle of the day. For me, it was calmness, right? Because my mind used to race. I would think about all the stories I needed to go and cover, or all the stories I wanted to pitch in television. And now it is, multiple hats that I'm wearing. And how do I get to this, to this, to this? So it started to be, I need to focus on clarity again. I need to focus on breathing techniques again, meditation again. Great show. Love this. Needed this so much. I'm glad, Julie. I threw my past out the window. Thank you, Monica. Have a great weekend. I totally agree, Monica. I try to think positive and thankful for the time I have now. And I really loved your show today. It was really a great one. Well, great. I'm happy to hear that. So before we talk about what's coming up on Monday, don't go anywhere, because you do not want to miss this. We talked about foundation values the other day from this book. Again, Blueprint for Value. I'll always introduce you to books that I think will serve you well. So this is number 2, dig. To deal with the symptoms, tackle the root. Accepting life's circumstances at face value, well, that's easy, right? We might say, it is what it is, or this is just who I am. No, it's who you were. You can change. It can be painful to dig into the past and ask, why are things this way? You heard that young couple, why me? How many more things are going to go wrong? Baby Freya's mom and dad, Aaron and Michael. Or even, why am I this way? Why do I have to be this way when the people around me that I would like to be more like, they're this way? Okay, we'll start changing the things that you don't like about yourself. Are your thoughts and your beliefs and your behaviors serving you? If not, change them. You have the power to change them. Ask yourself, where does this belief and thought come from? What happened to trigger this behavior? Nurture the roots that serve you and remove the roots that don't. Think about landscaping. Think about gardening, right? You wouldn't keep all the weeds around it. You'd get rid of the weeds. If the root ball of the plant is too high off the ground, you got to dig down deeper. When I say dig down deep into your soul, it's the same mentality. So visualize the plant that's not buried deep enough into the ground, or you didn't remove the debris, all the rock that's in that soil. You got to get rid of the debris, and you settle it down into the ground and watch how it blossoms. That's you, by the way. Digging down to the roots of your thoughts, beliefs, and behaviors can broaden your self-knowledge and grow your positive mental attitude and your personal worth. Change starts with the root. This is your takeaway for the day. Get dirty. Be brave. Take an honest look. Dig deep and ask, who, what, when, where, why, and how can you change your life? Jeff, great book, by the way. Blueprint for Value. I love it. Monday's show, you do not want to miss. We're going to be fired up. There's a huge announcement that's going to be made by a woman, female-owned business. She's now getting national attention, actually international attention, and she wanted to break the news on my show Monday morning. You don't want to miss the first half hour. She will be on with me, and by the way, keep an eye to my social pages. I'll be dropping some hints about that, showing you pictures of who my guests are, and then in the second half hour from 7:30 to 8, maybe even beyond 8 o'clock, we're going to talk to a man who has had the world rocked against him. He lost his son in a car accident. His son drowned in a car accident. You want to talk about living for every second and appreciating the time that you have together, because you're never promised, right? So yesterday when my friend was in that 4-car accident, all she did was go up to pick up her son from work, and they could have been seriously injured, maimed, or died. They didn't. They thanked God that all four of them in those cars were okay. All four people in those cars were okay. He didn't get that though. He lost his young son in an accident. Then he had a brain tumor. He survived the brain tumor and he turned his passion, his art, into giving back to the world. He gets his pain out through his music. Sherry and Johnny are my guests on Monday morning. It's going to be a show that is going to light you up. You're going to see the pebbles and the boulders in life. You're going to realize your potential. You're going to see yourself in the stories. Hopefully, you haven't had to go through the hardships that Johnny did. But he is such an incredible human being. He has a smile on his face always, and he's an incredible musician. We're going to have a little music for you on Monday as well. Please don't miss that. My daughter texted me this morning to take the girls to the park. I love my grandkids. Go do that, Julie. Absolutely. I love you all. I'm glad you enjoyed the show today. I hope that you continue to pay forward the kindness that hopefully you have in your heart, the kindness that you can find within yourself. Sometimes you got to dig a little deeper and realize that it's there. You also have to appreciate your value. You have to appreciate what you currently have and understand how quickly life can change. So from today moving forward, I want you to start really living your life, understanding your true potential, and just be kind to other human beings. Okay? Have a beautiful and a very blessed weekend. And then I will see you Monday morning, a show you do not want to miss.